Hey, welcome back to the channel, and this is my preview of France versus Ireland in the opening game of the Six Nations 2024. Let's go. So the build-up to this game has been pretty big. A lot of people are calling it the decider, even the Grand Slam decider, which might be a bit premature, but it certainly is a huge game, and these are two of the favourite sides to take this year's tournament. So let's get into the team selection and see what we think from there. For Ireland, only 4 changes were made, so a pretty consistent and solid team from last year into this year. You got Porter, Sheena Furlong in the front row, and then one of the big surprises was Joe McCarthy coming in at a second row. He's been on fire for Leinster this season. And he's really young. I think he's only 22 or something, but Farrell has decided to give him a go, and quite surprising considering that Ireland are pretty strong in second row. They have strength and depth there, which is one of the positions they're really strong at. But yeah, he's decided to give him a go, and I think most people are excited to see what he can do on the international stage, especially in such a big game. I think it'll actually suit him. I think he'll feed off the excitement and hopefully have a cracking game. Hopefully keeps his discipline, which is something you'll have to keep an eye on. Tag Byrne, so glad that he's back fit, playing in the team, and hopefully the line-out, which we'll discuss more later, will run really well with him there. O'Mahony as captain, Van der Vliet and Doris in the back row, very familiar by this point. Gibson Park and Crowley. So Crowley gets, it feels like his debut. It's not actually his debut. I think he's got 10-15 caps. But yeah, coming into the side as the starter with Sexton gone, it's a huge game, probably the biggest game of his career. I think most people agree, and I think I agree too. He has the temperament definitely to do well in this game. I know he'll stick to the game plan. Hopefully, he shows a bit of his own sort of initiative and character as well. Tries a little bit of variation and see how the game goes. Hopefully, he gets good ball and Ireland on the front foot. It's going to be a battle up front, so we'll see how that goes. But he's no slouch, in defence either. So I think he'll do well. Into the centres. Unfortunately, Ringrose picked up an injury. But you got a great centre combo nevertheless. Aki and Henshaw are there. 2 great players, both very experienced. Aki was on fire in the World Cup, and Henshaw is just a quality act. So they're up against a very good centre partnership for the French as well. So that's going to provide a lot of fireworks, I think. Into the back 3, we have Nash, his debut. On the wing there, 14. Don't know a lot about him actually. I actually haven't seen him that much, but he's a good player. I've heard from what I've watched, and he can do a bit of everything, good footwork, etc. Perhaps not the fastest, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he goes as well. So Farrell has handed a couple of players their debut, so that's good to see in the first game of the Six Nations. Then Lowe and Keenan, very familiar with those two. Onto the subs, and Ireland have gone with the 6-2. Finally, they held off, I think, for as long as they could. But I can't really argue with the decision against a very, very heavy and big French pack on their home turf, and it's going to be a physical war. So yeah, why not take an extra forward or 2? And you got Kelleher, Healy, Bell, Ryan. Ryan is a bit unlucky to be on the bench, but hopefully he'll make an impact when he does come on, and he'll be definitely fired up. Baird, Conan, Murray, and Frawley then covering the back line. So yeah, a very strong Irish side. As I said, only 4 changes made from the World Cup last year, but they do have 2 debutants there. So a nice mix, I think. Onto the French. So France with 5 changes, so almost a carbon copy of the Irish team. One of those changes was enforced by Dupont's Sevens training sabbatical. I don't know how exactly to describe it. I think he needed a little bit of a break after the pressure of last year, but you know, fair play to him, he probably deserves it. But France still, nevertheless, a very strong side. In the front row, Selby, Malvaki and Antonio. Great front row. Is going to be a hell of a battle with the Irish front row. Then two new second rows, I think, Gabriguet and Willemse. They're both a little bit heavier than the two French second rows who played in the World Cup, I think. And so France definitely going for that power up front, and going to try and weigh down the Irish, particularly in the set piece. I think they're really going to attack that. And Ireland's line-out really creaked badly in France in the World Cup last year, and the scrum didn't go great in the quarterfinal either. So I think maybe France feel they can get some change out of that. So they've gone with a very powerful physical pack, very big boys. In the back row cross, Olivon and Aldrich, the captain, who apparently is the real deal in terms of captaincy. We know he's a great player, but it'll be interesting to see how he speaks to his players. And I'll be keeping an eye on that just to see how he goes, you know, because with Dupont, they really need the kind of guide. I think Olivon used to be captain as well, so they've bypassed him to go straight to Aldrich. So yeah, interested to see how that goes. Halfback partnership, Jadibé and Luku, so they play together, right? I think for Bordeaux, so they've tons of experience together, and you know, very, very talented. Both of them are, and yeah, Garrick is on the bench as well, so a great pacey 9 to come on later on in the game. Dante and Fiku, now those two, that's a tasty centre partnership up against a very tasty centre partnership for the Irish too. So that's going to be super exciting. There's going to be fireworks. There's going to be some big collisions, I think. Dante is a key player for France in terms of not only his ball carrying and his great footwork, but his turnover and his work rate at the breakdown. If he can get a few crucial turnovers at the right time, could really turn the game in France's favour. Peno, Mofana on the wing instead of Biari. Biari is, you know, didn't play terribly bad against South Africa, but I think he had a little bit of criticism come from them, well, the whole French team did, but him specifically. So maybe they've opted to be a bit more conservative. Mofana is more of a well-rounded player, a little bit bigger, you know what I mean, a little bit more solid in defence maybe. But yeah, finish off the team with Ramos, and yeah, you know, he's just a good player, right? 6-2 again for France. You know, they've got 6 very big forwards, and then Garrick and Blady to cover the back line. So yeah, very evenly matched, I feel, coming into the game. Both teams almost with the full strength side, you know, barring the odd one or two. You know, obviously Sexton's gone for Ireland, and Dupont is missing for France, but that seems to me to even it out even more. I will say that the home advantage might play a significant factor. I'm sure by now you know that it's not being played in Paris because Stade de France is being, I think, renovated for the Olympics later this year. So they're playing down in Marseille. So Marseille is a cold run if ever there was one. Kind of crazy city, I think, crazy stadium. And the supporters will be packed in there and will be fired up in a frenzy, you know. So if Ireland can try and quiet them as early as possible, I don't think it'll be as easy as Paris, but you know, Ireland are going to have to either shut out the noise or, you know, use it as fuel, one of the two, because it's going to be an intense atmosphere. And either way, the Irish players are going to remember this experience, I think. So that's going to play a part. I will say I've heard some ex-players in particular talk about that there isn't really a hangover from the World Cup, but I tend to disagree with that. Obviously, I'm not an ex-international player, I never played in a World Cup, but I just feel like both teams do have a little bit something to prove, particularly the French, who came in for a lot more criticism, I think, than the Irish setup did. And I think the coach was lucky to keep his job, Galtier, but they give him a seal of approval. They put their support behind him for another run. So I think they have a lot to prove, and this is a game I think they were expecting maybe to play last year. So they really gonna want to win this one. But the same goes for Ireland. I mean, a lot of players want to prove just like, why they're in the team and why they were so highly regarded last year. People have short memories, so they've got a point to prove as well, I think. And yeah, it's a lot to play for in this game, and it's great for the Six Nations already so early have such a big game. For Ireland, the line out and the scrum set piece needs to really function well. Ireland, I hope, will have sorted all of those issues out, and if they have, then great. I mean, then they're going to be in with a real shout at the match, at winning the match. France, on the other hand, it looks like they're probably going to kick it, but I expect them to vary a little bit. They have good strike runners and they have a good combination between their halfbacks, so maybe a little bit of counter-attacking there. Physicality is going to be off the charts. I'm sure both teams will be up to the challenge. Centres battle, back row battle, there are battles all over the pitch. We'll see how Crowley goes. Maybe he'll put some big high balls in for the winger there, Moefana, the new guy. So yeah, it's going to be an intriguing game. I think it's going to be very, very close. If I was just going on, home advantage, etc., and kind of everything else being even, I'd probably slightly favour France. But I don't know, I just got a feeling that Ireland are going to edge it this time, and maybe a late try to steal the win. So I'm going to go Ireland by 4 points. Yeah, but there's going to be like at least 2-3 tries, I think, for each team. It's going to be a great game, so I think I'm not the only one, but I'm really excited to watch it. What do you think? How's it going to go? And I'm not sure about these guys being the eventual Grand Slam winners, but they may very well be the winners, whoever wins this game, of the tournament at large. So yeah, big game so early on. It's cracking. What more can you ask for? Anyways, if you've made it this far, thank you very much for listening. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.